Wow, yeah, so your dad comes back, and I will say he cannot disguise what he is holding. It is the Tarasque most people are probably familiar with is from the Dungeons & Dragons Monster Manual. Basically looks like Godzilla. It's a big lizard. But what he has here is a kind of special breed of Tarasque from our world's French mythology. I don't know if you all want to describe what this looks like.
I'm quite familiar. It's going to be a turtle lion thing.
Dan, this is 100% correct. Grasped in Orlando's claws is a giant creature, 6 legs,
It has feet for tongue?
No, it's eating someone. That is that's a leg hanging out of its mouth. It has, the jaws and head of a lion, the back carapace of a turtle, and like a long, reptilian tail. This is a true Tarasque. This is like the classic Tarasque that your dad is convinced has better meat. And he brings it over and drops it, and it starts howling and wailing and aggressively posturing at people because it is still extremely alive and fresh. and your dad says, "We're going to have to serve it rare, DiCaprio, but I promise you, are you familiar with the human invention of the veal?"
Has Hop done studies in there by chance?
You make the animals... If the animal's really sad, it tastes better, I think.
Yeah, Hop said something about animals being sad makes them delicious or something.
Yes, I think we're going to make this creature quite sad.
Speaking of sad, Father, Daddy, I had a question. When you were sort of younger and, not yet the most advanced of your kind, did you ever have to sort of ingratiate yourselves to any of your, I guess, higher ups in society, we should say?
I usually prefer to face my enemies head on with my acid breath and imposing claws, but occasionally one has to bide one's time in these sort of complicated hierarchies, so it's no shame to keep a low profile until you're ready to strike.
Understood. I guess we should probably kill that Tarasque now. It's making a real menace of those devas over there.
It's got 2 ASMR in its mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to roll initiative on this guy? He's just a giant turtle. He's, I was going to say bigger than any, maybe a blue whale inside. Let's say bigger than any earth animal. But he's rampaging around the kitchen.
Yeah. I rolled a 4 for initiative.
17. Doc Hop, you get in on this?
Sure, I'll get on this. Yeah, that's the sheet. 14.
Is that with your +5 for alert?
Yeah, that's with my +5.
Okay. The Tarasque is up first, and you're talking to your dad, DiCaprio, and it's just going to bum rush you and just try to run you over with all 6 of its clawed legs. So that's going to be... this is not good for you, huh? All right, the Tarasque runs up to DiCaprio. 25. I assume that hits.
Also, that's a +19. I don't think you can miss her.
35 damage as you become grappled as the Tarasque picks you up in its mouth and starts crunching on you as you turn, one presumes, into a diamond dragon.
Okay. Yes, so I have the ability of illusionary self, so I can basically ignore attack against me by having an illusion take its place.
Okay, there's no roll associated with that?
No, it's a resource. It's one of my abilities. It goes away, but I can continue to use it by burning level 2 spell slots, essentially.
Okay, the way the Tarasque moves across the mesa is like an earthquake. You know, it's like cutting a swath through the ground. All the dragons are like turning to watch in the kitchen as you do this big display. This is very eye-catching and impressive. Your dad is watching very carefully to see if you can impress him. It's actually Doc Hop's turn next because DiCaprio pirouettes away, leaving an illusion behind. The Tarasque mauls the illusion.
I'm gonna need a wisdom saving throw from this Tarasque.
Tarasque has advantage on saving throws.
Ugh.
Which is... I told you it was a level 20 season. 28.
Fine. Does anything happen on a... No, I do not successfully hold monster, which is different from dominate monster, the last thing I did on one. I was gonna try and paralyze the thing.
Yeah, fair enough. No, this guy's really badass. And now it's DiCaprio's turn. You see, your sister's tried to use magic to ensorcel it, but it's just getting reflected off its iron carapace.
Sure. Well, I mean, Hops didn't work, but I'm DiCaprio, so of course mine is going to work. I'm going to cast Weird on this creature, so I need a Wisdom saving throw.
All right, it has advantage on that, as I just said, 26.
That is a success. It will still take damage, however. It is going to take, I believe, 5d10 damage. Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, 26 damage.
All right, not bad. So Weird is a mind magic. It's being attacked by some kind of illusion that hurts it psychically, is how that works?
Yeah, I'm gonna basically like conjure up this very grand illusion that is taking place in this creature's mind. It's not able to really discern reality from illusion anymore, and it like, I don't know what a Tarasque fears. Maybe it's like conjuring up another Tarasque, but it's one of those like, you know, like sort of like how in a superhero thing, every so often like Jean Grey needs to like telepathically stab somebody and it like
Holocaust
really
beam?
stabs them for real. Yeah, you know, you need to do something. What did you say? I'm sorry, I agreed to it. And then
He said Holocaust beam.
I was like, I just had a moment where I know the instance you're talking about, but I was just like, yeah, like that classic thing she does, just kept going. I was like, he said Holocaust.
For the audience, there is a clip going around of Professor X blasting Magneto with memories of the Holocaust.
Yeah.
As I understand, there was lead up to that point. He didn't just cold cock him with that, but he did do it.
Yeah.
He did make him relive the Holocaust.
Anyways, I assume the Tarasque has an enemy Tarasque coming at it. It's not able to discern what's reality or not, but it doesn't get hurt too bad.
Yeah, so this lion turtle Tarasque, this is the classic Tarasque, is seeing the modern like T-Rex, like reptilian Tarasque, the only thing that could possibly threaten it in its mind. It is going to attack you, 27.
I think I'm going to use a second level spell slot to create another illusionary avoidance.
Okay. Yeah, it keeps trying to run down DiCaprio. Doc Hop, you are up next. You see this much larger creature trying to steamroll your sister.
I'm throwing a blight at it.
Uh-oh. All right, it has advantage on Constitution.
Does it have advantage on everything, does it?
It sure does. I got a 12, though, so
Okay,
it didn't
okay.
help.
So it takes 37 damage.
Nice, yeah. Necrotic energy ripples across it, and it howls in pain. I will say, Rex, you are downstairs fixing the table you broke. You probably could hear some disturbance up top. You don't have to come up if you don't want to, but that is, you know, it's like an unmistakable rumbling of a big fight.
If it sounds like, yeah, then Rex has to go, oh god, did he get caught and now he's attacking his sisters? That's what his assumption would be. So yeah, he will go up at that point.
I will say, as we go to DiCaprio's turn, you see a couple dragons step forward as if to help, and your dad waves them off. It's just like, no, let them show you what they're capable of.
Oh god, we're gonna be capable
No,
now.
actually
Fuck.
help.
Yeah, all eyes on you. This is a big, I mean, this is a really...
It's your turn to get the shit kicked out of you this episode.
Alright, I'm going to cast a spell, Psychic Crush, on this creature, so I need an intelligence saving throw.
All right, that is its worst stat. It does still have advantage, but 6 and 3, so big, huge fail.
Alright. Hot dog, as the kids say. So it is going to take 12d6 damage. That is 38 damage. and it is going to be stunned for 1 minute. So it is essentially that is the end of its turns, basically. It can make an intelligence saving throw at the end of its turns.
Oh,
but
no.
It is stunned until then, yeah.
That's not good. Okay. That's interesting. So this is a modified, this is the normal Tarasque stat. My one doesn't have as many bullshit abilities where it just says, actually, fuck you.
Yeah, actually eat shit, it can't be stunned, and actually you're dying in acid.
Yeah.
You're taking 12d acid a turn.
This is the veal of Tarasques. Your dad has raised this one specifically to be more docile, sadder, more pathetic. I'm going to roll for stun here. 13, that's not going to get anywhere near your spell save DC, huh?
Unfortunately not.
Okay, yeah, let's see if you can burn it down before it either gets out of stun or Rex gets up to save you, because it's going to take a couple turns for him to get up here. I think it might be interesting if he, like, comes out onto the mesa like, I'm here to save you, and you two just pull it apart in front of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm prepared to just start launching spells at him. So...
Oh, this will be fun. This will be fun. So I'm simply gonna punch it initially, and the punch is gonna do something fun if it hits.
Okay.
So what do I roll to just punch this thing?
I mean, your strength plus proficiency.
Yeah, that's
I don't think you would get proficiency because you're just you're a warlock, right? Mechanically.
Yes.
But yeah, warlocks are entitled to a martial weapon with which you are proficient, so we'd use that. So Tarasques have 25 AC. I was about to just say with my dumb human mouth, there's no way you're doing this, Doc Hop. But
Yeah,
I'm seeing 29 in the Discord.
Yeah, I rolled
or in the
29. I rolled 29 to punch it, so like whatever damage the punch does is fine. The punch damage is not what I'm actually trying to do.
Okay.
What I'm trying to do is my ability Hurl Through Hell,
Oh yeah.
which I've not yet used. Once per long rest, when I hit a creature with an attack, I can transport it through the lower planes, and it will return at the end of my next turn, having seen a lot of psychic horrors and taken a lot of damage.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, since this thing is stunned, let me roll one more stun because you all can go apeshit on it again. 13, that fails again. You are gonna pummel it to death. There's nothing it can do with this stun. Can the flavor of this be you punch it so hard it goes to hell and is cooked in hell and comes back?
Yes. It takes
As long as it counts for my cooking score, absolutely.
it takes 45 damage being punched through hell.
All right, so you two, paint me the picture of you two killing this Tarasque as Rex, you get to the surface and witness it. Because I was like, yeah, without that stun, you might have needed to help, or it would have. I mean, it was really hits like a truck. But instead, you just witnessed this.
Yeah, I think there's like a setup. Like DiCaprio does this mind crush kind of moment where she's kind of like staring the Tarasque down in its weird human-esque kind of face, lion face thing that it has in this version. And she just kind of zeroes in until she can kind of figure out its brain, and she does like a kind of squish motion with her fingers. That's like her pose for this attack, and then the Tarasque's mind gets all fucked up, and that I think just gives this opportunity for Hop to just open a portal to hell underneath it.
we fucking this thing's mind up, are we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it comes back and a perfectly roasted, like a trussed up chicken. It's been spatchcocked somehow.
Yeah, it was drowned in Chardonnay.
As soon as it comes back, Hop is gonna go, "Don't say I never do anything for you."
So Rex comes up seeing this, right?
Yeah.
And I think he was going up there like, oh, at least maybe I'll be like able to get like a fight in, or like help my sisters with this. Sees that this happens, he's completely unneeded. I'm assuming like pretty much every dragon here is distracted by this, right?
1,000,000%, yeah.
He's just gonna leave.
Oh no!
Can I get a perception check, Rex Maximus, if you're gonna leave?
I guess. Can I use my level 20 sheet because he'd have to fly away?
Yeah, absolutely. So you're like a mangled, your human body. You just turn into a perfect, beautiful, like completely undamaged, beautiful red dragon as you go to leave.
I'll say he comes up there like a little bit excited to feel like, okay, at least I could get a fight in, and he sees this, and I don't think he realizes that this is the emotion he's feeling, but he just kind of feels sad. And
Oh, this is heartbreaking.
11.
Yeah, with an 11, you don't notice anything, and
Alright,
you're free to fly away.
I'm sorry that we swapped which sibling is having the bad time.
Oh no.
DiCaprio, it's your turn to have a bad time next.
That's the way this next arc is looking like. All right, so I need to do another cooking roll.
So yeah, to end the cooking competition, I need cooking rolls from both of you. Doc Hop, you have proficiency because of your chef's hat, and DiCaprio, you get advantage because of your fresh Tarasque meat.
Austin, I got a crit 22.
I thought, how cool is this going to be? I get advantage. I crit on this final thing. Maybe this all comes around. I rolled double 4 and Laura crits.
Holy Christ. Okay, so that means final score.
No one gives a shit about the Tarasque that was cooked in hell. Everyone's like, this BLT's crazy. They're losing their minds over this BLT.
The judge is not judging it in dragon form, and I made something aimed at small folk.
Yeah.
They're like, there's bacon, lettuce, and tomato. This is fucking astounding.
Yeah, so final score, let's see here. Doc Hop got 56, Falcon Bridge got 47, and DiCaprio got 30. So, yeah, I think...
For anyone saying it's just a BLT, I got pentacorn bacon. I turned the soup into a drizzle. Like, I got fancy with it.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so I think the way this is all working is, Andronicus is tasting everyone's meal. Everyone's really impressed by the Tarasque, and he says, a delightful showing, DiCaprio. Subtle flavors, but perhaps overly complicated. The rustic simplicity of the BLT is undefeatable.
If this dude... I just need to know, Austin, if this dude's marrying my mom, I'm gonna beat the shit out of him one day.
You see where I'm going with this? Thank you, Quinn.
There's a wedding cake and there's a big event coming up that I'm meant to go to and make a big speech about how awesome my mom is. Yeah, I've started putting the pieces together.
All right, I love you all. The final image is Doc Hop wins, and you're getting the Firestone Star put on your lapel. It gives you +1 to your attacks, fire damage to your attacks. It gives you resistance to fire damage, and you can use Firebolt once per long rest, as the stone is imbued with the sacred fire of the world's top chefs who need to cook anywhere at a moment's notice.
You are going to have to write those things down in the chat. I'm dumb too. You said words. They kind of went in one side and out the other.
Okay.
Yeah, upon receiving this, Hop is going to look around for Rex, wanting to, I said I'd win the star for him.
He's long gone by this point.
I will say then, to save that, I think there's going to be a moment where DiCaprio is kind of quietly accepting the critique. She's being gracious in this sort of defeat. And this is so weird because I have to play that I don't know that this wedding is definitely happening right now. And DiCaprio is just going to kind of pass by her mother and say, didn't even feel like giving it a chance, A bit disappointed. I thought you could have whipped up something that would be a 10 out of 10.
Perhaps I could have, but, I've got to fit into my dress for my next event, so I can't be worrying about too much of this. The carbs, the empty calories. You go on ahead,
Do
though.
you have to take out the edges of a burlap sack like you usually wear?
Uh-oh, Quinn's getting really good at this.
Do you normally need to take a trash can to the seamstress?
Misty, you're as bitchy as ever. Am I gonna see you at my lair in a couple months?
I thought it might be nice to go home and see how everything looks.
Delightful. Oh, if you see your brother, tell him he has something of mine and I want it back.
Oh, and what would that be?
Oh, he knows. It's between us.
Well, if it involves my brother, it can involve me as well. If I'm getting it back for you.
Do what you must. I have somewhere to be.
I want to say this not audible enough to hear it, but I just feel like I want DiCaprio to voice it out loud. She is just going to kind of quietly say to herself, I don't know when it's going to happen. Maybe I do want to say this to her. Hold on. What is the last thing she said to me? Was it bitchy?
Everything she says is bitchy.
Yeah. Alright, so in response to all this bitchiness, DiCaprio is just going to say, I'll be at the event, Mother. Just know, I'm not sure when it's going to be. I don't know when. But just know when your time comes, I helped make it happen.
Yeah, upon realizing that Rex isn't still finishing the mission downstairs and also isn't present, Hop is definitely going to try and work out where to go to try and track down Rex.
Yeah, I figure Rex probably would have just gone home. I think there is, like, almost certainly parts of, like, his, like, surrounding lair, right? Where he, like, blows off steam or, like, just crushes rocks to get his, like, energy out. I think he goes there to, like, do it. And then there's just no energy behind him. He's just kind of done. And he just goes into his lair, ignores his small folk as he usually does. And like settles down. Like if Hop goes to his lair, like he's just there.
Yeah, Hop is gonna arrive and just go, any luck down in the freezer?
Waste of time. There's nothing there.
Well, we confirmed it. That's a win.
Considering that Dad wanted us to find something, you think he's even gonna accept that as truth?
I mean, if there's nothing there, like, what's the alternative? If there's nothing there, there's nothing there.
Doesn't mean he's gonna be happy with the answer. Eric's is just kind of like, like, you know that lazy sort of sit that the Jarls do in Skyrim, where they're kind of slumped into the chair. He's doing that on like a giant, that giant's throne he stole in his dragon form.
Yeah, Hop is gonna unaffix the Firestone star and go, I said I'd win this for you, and we'll try and throw it over to Rex.
I think Rex will catch it and sort of one smooth motion, softball pass it back, and say, "I told you in the Horde, I didn't win it, I didn't earn it, I didn't steal it myself."
Okay. What's up?
Rex is gonna fully ignore that statement and just say, DiCaprio must be pissed.
Yeah, DiCaprio probably is. You should have seen the look on her face when a hell-terrorized Tarasque didn't win the competition. It was kind of hilarious.
Did the baby enjoy it?
I did not stick around long enough for that baby to be born. I probably was supposed to.
I was gonna say the last image of the episode is the baby bursting out of the egg to greet you all, and two of you are already gone. But this is it's a funny thing that you two left.
Well, I'm sure he'll be around. We're apparently all taking turns babysitting the wormling.
I don't know how I can help. But I recognize shit sucks right now, and I'm here if I can help.
I think Rex, like, he's been kind of, like, looking around her, not looking at her. And he's gonna turn to, look Hop dead in the eyes, and his expression really hardens, and says, "You know how many people keep telling me that when Dad dies, we're all on our own?"
Mm-hmm.
If I'm being propped up by you or DiCaprio, then I've already failed.
I couldn't disagree more. But I know... I know what you value, and I understand.
It's easy for you to disagree when you are the two succeeding.
I have had a string of things going well. Give it a week, I'll be the one failing left, right, and center.
How many years did you spend with Dad?
I'm trying to remember if canonically I've said this, if I've answered this.
Just math-wise,
Yeah.
it would have your Rex has probably spent the most time with him because it would be from the time he was born, right?
Yeah.
He's basically asking a rhetorical question. He's not even actually going to wait for you to follow it up.
Okay, yeah.
And say, from the moment I hatched, it's been test after mission after challenge, and the only thing that ever matters is success.
To him, maybe.
And under his tutelage, our species is surviving.
Just because his way's working doesn't mean it's the only way. And look, my stuff with my small folk is not... It's not your jam, I know that. But there are... working together for the common good and helping each other to do more than could be done separately, I see no shame in that.
Until the day you're on your own. Get back to the party. They're gonna want a picture of you and the baby.
They probably will. But I want to know you're okay.
He, I think he gets up out of his throne and sort of walks to the entrance of his inner lair, right? The universal signal of it's time to go. Tried to leading someone to the door and just say, I'm fine.
Okay. I can take a hint. Okay. You are strong and powerful, and there are times I have wish to be you. I hope you can see yourself as great as I see you sometime. And Hop will head back to the party.
Yeah. DiCaprio, you were talking to your mom while this is going on, so I think you can see Hop get back at some point. Everyone's really excited about Hop winning the competition. You're being showered with praise. Everyone loves you. You're, very impressive. Your dad actually seems particularly supportive of you, DiCaprio, because you cooked together. You grilled with your dad. And you fought a big monster and stuff, so he thought that was really cool. So the mood here is pretty jubilant, and it is, kind of sad that Rex left and is feeling neglected, because your dad can sometimes be withholding of affection, but you had such a big public victory that he would very much like to tell you all how cool you are. But at some point, the attention is pulled away from you because the egg is hatching. And I've said before I had a character planned, but here is baby Ulysses bursting out of the yellow gold egg. It is, as Dan said, the most bloodthirsty lizard ever conceived.
Oh, it's a leopard. Hold on, I need to get a picture of Speedy. We're replacing this image immediately. One moment.
It's a leopard gecko, a very beautiful yellowish, goldish lizard with black spots on it. And I will say everyone, coos at the baby. Oh, it's so cute. Look at it. But then you do hear some whispers behind you of people saying, is it a yellow dragon? Is it a gold dragon? I've never seen anything like this before.
It's a happy little guy is what it is.
You know what it kind of looks like it has? Black. It's got black spots and stuff. You know what also has black spots and is kind of yellow?
A leopard?
Our shitty slut dad.
He's orange. Your dad's orange.
Leopard geckos are generally also orange.
This guy's...
And I'm also colorblind.
Yeah. I love how this keeps coming up. I will say I'm not doing a paternity tease here. Maybe there are other mysteries, but that's not what I'm going for. No, this guy just doesn't obviously fit the profile of a gold dragon, which looks kind of like a Eastern lung dragon. People are excited, they're happy. He's very cute. He starts eating up the Tarasque flesh. He's having a great time. This is a moment of jubilation. But there is just like whispers, like, what kind of dragon is this guy? What's he up to?
Am I able to bond with the baby? Can I do a bond check with the baby?
Please do a bond check.
If he's a leopard gecko, the answer is no. he might get used to you, but deep in his heart, nothing but hate.
Dan just posted Speedy, the gecko you used to own. That reminds me of a ferret I met once named Bitey. I've never met any creature who was as focused on one thing as Bitey was. Do you want to guess what Bitey was focused on?
Cooking?
Accounting?
Literally, Bitey didn't bite other ferrets. You put Bitey in a cage and she was fine. If a human was around, Bitey, like a homing, seeking missile, going for the flesh and biting until she was stopped. It was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Oh.
Speedy was weird in that he was dead silent his entire life, except like once when he tried to get me. Leopard geckos like chirp and make noises. Not him. He was a silent murderer. And every time I took him, I would have to take him out of his cage and give him little bats because skin would get stuck to his fingers, right? And if that can cause them to fall off. For hours after he would be reminded that the outside world exists and it's possible for him to escape, he would do nothing but except try to climb out of his cage, presumably to enact his revenge on society.
Yeah, so do you want to roll something, DiCaprio, to see how Ulysses, the mystery dragon, feels about you? This is the last named character I have prepared. You have met every person that I have written down. It doesn't mean that, later you can't be like, this is Jeff the Small Folk, but...
Yeah. All right.
Wow, photogenic. Look at this little guy.
Yeah, he's smiling, probably because he just killed something.
What is the baby roll? Persuasion?
Yeah, persuasion, right?
I think so, yeah.
This is survival.
27.
You want to intimidate the babies.
Holy... Okay, well, it is now your baby, DiCaprio. This is your problem.
Oh no! I have a baby Yoda again.
Yeah, I mean, I literally think the next couple of arcs is just gonna be this baby going from person to person because I wanted to get a wormling perspective on stuff because we were mostly talking about adult dragons. I thought that'd be fun.
I hate that this is so prescient as I'm about to go into an arc that deals with my character's relationship with her mother.
No, it's really good. I didn't know how all this would shake out, but it's fun. Yeah, you've intuited the Andronicus might be someone might marry him for his power, and there's your exes are jockeying and all this. Yeah, all the pieces are on the board and they're very fun.
Yeah.
This is very funny to me because there was a period of time when I was building Rex that one of the abilities I could have was just summon Wormling. So you could just summon. At the time, I was like, do I just have like a little baby brother that I'm throwing at people in these level 20 fights?
Yeah, with a 27, I want to say, DiCaprio, if you wanted to call dibs on Ulysses, you could take him with you and maybe get some bonuses to do something, like sick him on someone or something, because he is, like, even as a baby, they come out with human level intelligence and deathly instincts, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think there is obviously, DiCaprio I think is going to take any opportunity she can, but I think she is going to be like, oh, this is perfect. Let's see how you can trace, like, butterflies. And she has a particular target she's thinking in mind.
Speaking of hunting down butterflies, I am curious what the Cymbeline siblings are doing right now. So in a totally natural and definitely recorded at the same time segue, let's find out what those little fairy dragons are up to. To help me with that, is someone else on the line who hasn't introduced themselves.
Hello, it's me, Sarah, mostly known as Cosmignon most spaces. I've been on Dicefunk a couple times now, and I'm coming back again to be a little fairy dragon, which, even before this season, I've always been very fond of fairy dragons, because they're silly little guys.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. A lot of things in D&D you would not want to be real. I think like an owl bear probably would be a bummer to encounter, a displacer beast, so on and so forth. But fairy dragon I feel like would be a chill hang.
Yeah, they seem like precocious little imps.
Yeah, also an imp, another thing probably wouldn't love to be real. Very rude. But yeah, you are joining me today because the Andronicus finale was a 3-hour recording. They ended up splitting in half, and I just think the pacing and so forth, the way this works is with the Orlando siblings at the cooking contest. I'm curious what the Cymbeline siblings are up to, and it is fun for me to constantly be robbing the player characters, but they're not the only ones who are interacting with the Cymbalines, and I'm curious what else they're pilfering. And I could just decide that unilaterally. I'm God, no one can stop me. But it might be more fun to play it out. So you have a character sheet for me.
Yes, I do. I'm playing Cymbeline. Just very easy to name, but easiest name I've ever given a character in my life. And I just have the stats for like a Dragonborn, because like it's not that serious, but like it's a little level 1 rogue because I'm going to do a crime.
At least one. So yeah, the Cymbalines do have true names. You don't have to reveal that if you don't want to. And I don't think it is clear which one you are right now. It has been said on screen that DiCaprio Devereaux is looking for the Cymbeline who robbed her in the first arc, and she has asked around for people to help find that true name. Viola and Lady Falconbridge have offered to acquire the information. Lady Falconbridge wants DiCaprio to make up with her mom to repair that relationship, to give her access to high society, and Viola wants her to destroy her relationship with her mom to prove that she's not her family's minion, just like a pathetic toad thug foot soldier. So we'll see how DiCaprio navigates that in the future, but right now I have my notebook with all the dragons and their hordes written in it, and I'm curious what your Cymbeline wants to steal. This is a great opportunity for you, Sarah, to just sabotage the campaign. Just get your little paws in there and just start ripping out wiring.
All right. I'm gonna bite something with my teeth and get electrocuted, cartoon style.
We'll all see your skeleton.
Let's see. So I know that the hordes are like or like I don't think Orlando's a good pick because that's just like animals.
Yeah, you want some kind of rare bird? You want a funny beetle of some sort?
And let's see, there's Desdemona has perfect things, Rosalind has cursed things, Sycorax has emotions.
That's true. These are all true things you're saying. Thank you for listening to the show Dice Funk, which I make with my friends that you're currently on.
Yeah. I'm the two that I'm most interested in as like something to steal, get my little mitts on, are either one of something from Sycorax, because her whole deal fascinates me with how abstract it is, or steal something from Chameleon guy. I can't remember his name.
Barbas.
Barbas.
Only the most regular names here on Dice Funk.
Only the most regular names.
Sure. I mean, depending on how smooth the heists go, maybe you can either pilfer, one or both or more stuff. Who knows? Mm-hmm. There's no podcast cops. I've learned that pretty early in my career. You can just say whatever.
You could say whatever you want forever.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're a level 1 rogue. We have a little character sheet for you to steal stuff, and we'll see how it affects the campaign. I currently don't know. You could say anything, and I would try to roll with it as best as I can. I guess you can't really rob Andronicus, because that's where everyone else is currently. Right now, they are all gathered around the egg, looking at the leopard gecko dragon Ulysses. So that's the split screen as you're doing Ocean's 11 shenanigans.
Yeah, if I tried to rob Andronicus, I think that would end with like 2,000 dragons all hitting me with their breath simultaneously.
Yeah, roll initiative for that. Let's get a little look at that math. But yeah, you're Sarah, the Cosmignon Sarah. Did you do your plugs? I know where all your stuff is.
Cosmignon, Cosmignon. I have a Patreon. I have a coffee that also now acts as like a second Patreon because it also has membership tiers. You should get the same things on both of them because I'm trying to keep those updated at the same time now. I have a online shop that's cosmignon.square.site. And I have a webcomic you should read called Runaway Dracaina. It's also about dragons. It's a little girl that's like half dragon, but that's still dragons. Do you want more dragons? I've got dragons.
It counts. I mean, half dragons and that sort of stuff has come up somewhat in the show, and I assume it's going to come up more because I would say one of the defining features of dragons in mythology is they cannot keep their claws to themselves, and they are constantly doing little half dragon situations. So I assume we will speak on this more. But yeah, why don't you paint me a picture? Let's go to Sycorax's first. Her lair is in an acropolis atop a mountain. A lot of marble statues, a lot of pillars, like human Greek civilization vibes here.
Yeah, I'm imagining like I Cymbeline am like doing little fairy hops between like Greek pillars, like trying to figure out where the hoard is to get something that's mine. It's already mine. I just need to figure out where it is.
All right, you're in the headspace already. I love this. This is true role playing.
And it's like she has like a big. Is it like a big like Acropolis like temple thing where like her hoard is? Am I remembering that right?
Yeah, I believe when they went to Sycorax's like inner hoard, there was like in a big kind of classic temple situation, and they didn't go fully in. They saw like a human prisoner who was like chained up, and then they left, and it was strongly implied they could have continued searching, but they did not.
Yeah, I want to like head there like as soon as I get a whiff of like the little like however emotions smell. I imagine it's like my first thought is like it smells like chlorine, and I'm like I don't know why.
Whoa, yeah, I don't know what that says about you. But if you're sniffing, that's a classic perception roll. So let's get that.
Yeah, gonna sniff out the things. Perception.
As you roll, is there anything about your Cymbeline that's different? We have discussed they are tiny dragons, but they have like butterfly coloration and wings and so forth. Is there any, like if we see your Cymbeline later in the season, like what would be a visual indicator it's the same one?
I think my Cymbeline is probably like, so like your typical fairy dragon, like at least like the artwork that you see, like for the game is like purple and pinkish looking colors. Just assume mine is like kind of more like a hot pink and teal kind of deal.
Whoa.
Like look up like Poppy from Trolls, that kind of color scheme.
Okay, so are you just further down the Lisa Frank o-meter? Like,
Yeah, like we're getting closer to the highest saturation point you can get.
okay.
And then it didn't show up in Roll20, but I rolled in D&D Beyond and I got an 18.
18 is perfectly acceptable, though. So you follow your fairy dragon senses into the temple, and what emotion smells like chlorine? Because what happens is you find a door, you're walking past all kinds of trash that Hop left in here. You see strands of the encode thoughts. This is the thing that Sycorax pulls out of people. That's like a 5-foot long, colorful ribbon. There's red ones, blue ones, purple ones. What is the chlorine emotion?
The chlorine emotion, like, I think I thought of chlorine because, like, when I think of, like, an emotion, like, the first thing I think of is, like, oh, I can, like, smell, like, the pool, like, when you would, like, when I, like, my grandma had, like, a pool, and, like, we would go to her place. So I guess the chlorine smell is, like, wistful nostalgia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like that. Interestingly, so you find some of these, I think they're pool water colored, like electric colorful strands of the encoded thoughts. And some of them are like hung up on like a loom. Some of them are like, wrapped up as if for storage. And you see that there is a locked door in this room where there are perhaps even more powerfully nostalgic memories and emotions.
Ooh. Well, I do know that if anything's more powerful, then that's obviously, like, more enticing. Can I, like, grab the ones I already found and try to go to that door?
Yeah, absolutely. Fill your inventory with nostalgia. It's a fun thing you can do on our show. You don't get that on your average on your average Dungeons and Dragons podcast. And then sleight of hand. A sleight of hand? Why did I pluralize that? I guess you would use both hands to pick the lock with your tiny claws.
Okay. Let me just type that out. Roll 1. I have a +6 to that, so hopefully that's good. 25.
Oh no, 25 is too good. This is the part you and I did not talk about what we were going to do. You could have stole from anybody. I say this often on the show, but I'm purposely leaving myself vulnerable to be attacked at all times because I think it's funny. With a 25, you easily get your claws into the keyhole, pop it open, and you find what is clearly a restricted area with something quite unusual. These pool water colored strips of magical nostalgia pulled from the humans of Sycorax's mountain appear to be being wove into some kind of figure in this room.
Ooh. Would it be like a history to know who this figure is?
You know what? I will say history is not a bad guess.
19.
Well, Cymbeline doesn't miss. Level 1 sheet, level 20 audacity. What you see here is a humanoid figure being kind of woven into it, and you have heard of creatures made of emotions before. They are called Sorrow Sworn. Are you familiar, out of character, Sarah, with this?
No, I don't believe I am.
Okay, so they're a kind of obscure, Forgotten Realms thing. You don't see a lot of them, but the canonical ones are like rage, loneliness, hunger, and I think it's called the wretched, which is not an emotion. I guess wretchedness is kind of a feeling one could have. But yeah,
It's like how Inside Out has a disgust as an emotion.
You know what? Yeah, I didn't think of that, but these are kind of like big Inside Out guys. What if the cast of Inside Out was a monster you could fight with Gary Gygax's proprietary tabletop system? And Sycorax probably shouldn't be making Sorrow Sworn out of the nostalgia of her people, if she at least thought that she needed to hide it. Let's say that.
Very suspicious, no matter how you cut it.
But yeah, so this is like a nostalgia creature here, hidden in the temple. Presumably, the siblings could have found it when they were here, but I think they had some wizards to bully.
Yeah, they had like wizard best friends to bully.
Truly priorities. But yeah, you have as much nostalgia as you can carry with your little body, and you've seen that. Is there anything else you want to do here, or there are more dragons you want to annoy?
Like with the I'm just like, I don't think I can steal this thing, but I am curious, how big is the Sorrow Sworn? Like, and is it like almost complete? Is it like in the middle of being made? What's up with this guy?
Yeah, they're about human sized and 5 to 7 feet tall. This one appears to be like done from the bottom to like the shoulders. The head isn't done. And like the arms are like half done, but enough that you can figure out what's going on from context clues.
Cool. Well, like, until that thing's finished, like, I think I've gotten my armfuls of nostalgia that I'm going to keep in my inventory. Maybe, like, grab, like, one more thread of it on my way out.
Yeah.
Kind of fuck up this deal, but not, like, intensely. Just like, ooh, that one's glowing extra blue.
And yeah, so now you have given me something in the world that there's been a heist here, and you have this. Is there anything else, anything you want to put in the show, and that later is gonna knock more of Rex's teeth out? I've sent you a picture of the Sorrow Sworn. If you want to get a little peek at that, take a butcher's.
Oh, these guys are. These guys are certainly something that looks like they're called Sorrow Sworn.
Yeah, they're like mostly vaguely human shaped, but clearly having a pretty bad time. I think the one with like skeletally skinny is hunger. The one that appears to be weeping dark ichor is like sadness. So you get the idea.
Yeah, I get the idea.
They don't seem jazzed, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think yeah, since I brought him up, Enobarbus, I want to go to his place and steal something because old technology is kind of nostalgic. I guess I'm just leaning into like, I want to, I am the Cymbeline that wants to steal all the like nostalgic Lisa Frank 80s shit.
I actually like that because the Cymbelines kind of they've been characterized so far as just being of a different mindset. They think everything is theirs and everywhere is theirs, and it's not really a big deal. They also aren't true dragons who are compelled to hoard in the same way, but you could still collect. And I do, is it that you are particularly drawn to nostalgia, or is it that you are drawn to these memories and then are you influenced by having them on you? You're literally carrying an inventory full of concentrated, like pure magic nostalgia. Does that change how you are emotionally, or at least maybe intensify it?
My line of thought is like, I go into like Sycorax's lair and I look for like I look for like my stuff, and like I get drawn toward the nostalgia because it's like got a really pungent smell, and then I collect it, and then like as I gather more of it, I'm like, I'm really feeling this. I really like this. I'm getting flashes of like that cup pattern from the 90s and like
jazz
boom boxes.
We talk about the jazz pattern on our podcast with an alarming frequency, but I do like, the idea is like you start stealing this stuff and suddenly you're just like, I'm only interested in video games from the 80s now. I don't know what it is.
And so I'm like, I know one guy who might have some like old, like nostalgic kind of technology. I could go steal something from him.
Absolutely. That's the Crystal Caverns of Enobarbus, the Barrel Dragon. So we discussed that at length. That was the last arc, so we don't need to talk too much about the mountain itself. You fly up there, it's dwarves for days. also the name of my nightclub. You are a tiny little dragon who mostly goes unnoticed. Or actually, you know what? Let's have fun. Roll stealth. You've crushed every roll so far, but maybe a dwarf will yell at you.
Stealth. Okay. Roll 1d20 plus 6. 19.
Oh, you are on fire. I can't have you. This Cymbeline is an antagonist. You will total party kill the level 20 characters. Terrible.
I'm gonna
rolling.
get in a fight with all of them, and they're all gonna bow down to my might, and I'm gonna fucking get them.
You're gonna ping pong off their heads and like bounce from one and just kill all of them in one combo move.
Looney Tune style.
Hob did get KO'd by one, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I have written down for Enobarbus a bunch of random stuff here, like the toothbrush that Lauren made, or I just wrote phone, which I thought maybe they could find at some point. Is there anything in particular that I think this is actually a really interesting thing, because there's a difference between the Cymbalines having like a telegram, or who cares, or them having a tank, like that could matter.
Yeah. I'm like, so do you know that image of like this old like advertisement, I guess, for like the internet that's like kids like on like computer mouses and stuff, and it's just like, whoa, the internet.
Yeah, they're surfing.
Yeah, they're surfing.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can find like an old like retro computer or something. Like one of those big chunky boys.
Yeah. I'm looking at this now. Yeah, you could absolutely find an old computer. I guess my question is, how are you going to use this to make Quinn yell at me? Or yell at you? I can just spread the blame around.
Just like, I think my thought is that like, if I can find like some kind of like old computer or like some kind of like storage device, maybe it has like follow me, just like, what if I find something that has like old recorded data of like where other like dragons' hordes are, like even like older ones, maybe like they died and like maybe people like scattered for their stuff, but there's still some things left out there. What if I could find those?
Okay, yeah, so it's not about the like a computer monitor itself. You're finding a data trove where it's like, here's an ancient dragon census back from when they traveled the stars, back from like the space seasons where everyone was doing mighty fine, and you probably could at some point the party could find this and be like, oh, we have all this ancient dragon data. I mean, the thing that immediately jumps to mind as the best cliffhanger, the best like stinger for this episode is you find information about Orlando, like from his young embarrassing days, and now you have that
blackmail material, baby.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that. Like just finding like, what's like the stupidest way you could record something like that?
What, like on a big floppy disk?
Like on a big floppy disk, or like one of those like handheld recorder things, or like, what do they fucking have on Star Trek where it's like a vote, like a thing that they hold up as like Spock to beam me up or whatever. You can tell I don't watch Star Trek.
I do like what it says about you, that you weren't like, oh yeah, Cymbeline finds an F-18 with all the missiles. Come find me, fucking jackasses.
It's just like, at least my Cymbeline, at least me, Cymbeline, the Cymbeline who is here. Like, I'm not super interested in like fighting these guys because like all this stuff is already mine. I just want to find all of it.
Sure. Yeah. Well, you rolled so well that you got past all the guards. But I was thinking if a dwarf caught you, then you could, you haven't gotten to speak in character. You're just kind of doing your own thing. One could definitely be like, hey, what's your fucking deal? But yeah, I think it is funny for you to have just an enormous floppy disk. It's like the size of you, right? They used to make really big floppy disks.
Like the just giant fucking floppy disk, just because for those giant computers that took up a room, and like I can figure out how to use it somehow.
Sure. I mean, depends what's on it. Do you want to make up what's on it, and we and the audience can know, but the siblings won't?
Yeah, like I imagine if it has something about like Orlando's like embarrassing days, like maybe it's like old like dragon like like an old dragon yearbook. Here's all the dragons from the class of X89. And maybe it has like information about like their greatest strengths and weaknesses and what kind of things that they've collected, and like, oh, here's my secret stash that I'm not going to tell anyone about.
Okay, yeah, the secret stash is definitely good, and it makes me think endangered animals wasn't always Orlando's hoard then.
Like maybe it was something else.
I'm sending you a Reddit thread where I Googled what is the biggest floppy disk, and someone posted this thing. Oh. It's like the size of a human torso.
Oh, that's a big floppy disk.
Yeah. Optical disc cartridge OC301-2. I don't know if that means anything to anybody, but that's the disk you find. And in it is like a ancient census that was taken before the apocalypse where all the dragons were like registered their hordes. And you find like, you know, pimple-faced teen Orlando and his first horde, which the kids don't know about.
Yeah. Them kids don't know about this horde.
Are you nostalgic for their old hordes? Is that what is it? Is it like, okay, my Cymbeline at least, maybe not all of them, is like, I'm going to go to the old apocalyptic world and dig up all these old hordes?
Yeah.
Or are you just keeping this as blackmail?
I like the idea of a little bit of both. Like, I feel like if I need to use it as blackmail, I will, 100%, like, at first prompting. Like, I think that probably crosses my mind while I'm also like, ooh, even more of my stuff is in places that I probably haven't been yet. I don't know if the Cymbelines have ever been in the old world. I would assume not, but who knows how old the fucking prison crystal was.
I mean, so yeah, 2 of them were in the prison crystal. My current belief is that counting like, you know, cousins, aunts, and uncles, there's like dozens of these fools out there. Some of them surely must have checked out the old world. But that makes me think, yeah, you high on nostalgia rope. I don't know what else to call it. If there's anything, yeah, in the old floppy disk that catches your eye, and you're like, oh, I would love to have that vintage Dodge Charger. It's like, yeah, but the rest of the stuff is still there. Can that be the final image? Is you in you're in a Impala lowrider, just busting out reggaeton while you in front of the dragon assembly in your muscle car? Come on, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like that. I like getting like a cool, like stupid old muscle car that I get to drive around in.
There goes the Cymbalines again, doing burnouts in our parking lot.
Those fucking hooligans in their goddamn muscle car.
See, this is why we do this kind of stuff. I didn't know the Cymbalines were hoons. Now we do know that. I'm not going to explain what that means. You Google it if you don't know.
Yeah, me, like, I was on, like, a solo mission. I'm gonna bring back my fucking, like, muscle car and my floppy disk to my friends and be like, yo, let's go do wheelie.
All right, that's their characterization now. I have to live with that. I guess not all of it. There could be ones that aren't like this, but...
I'm just channeling my energy from, like, how the Cymbalines sound already, which is just a bunch of fuckers.
I'm jealous now. I want someone to invite me on their podcast so I can just throw some grenades into it and run away.